Welcome! I'm glad you're here. You're listening to Banjo Chat, where I bring in amazing banjo players and chat with them about their life, their music, their stories, their pitfalls, inspirations, and advice. So, join us on this journey into Banjo Chat. Hello, and welcome to the Banjo Chat. I'm your host, Hillary Hawk. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good here. I'm happy to be here. And it's just me today. Again, here it is, me. And I thought it was a great time to do some more listener emails. And that's because we're wrapping up the season. We have 2 more episodes coming up before the end of the season. And I'm doing some preparation. And so I thought it would be a great time to read your emails. We're going to get into it. And I just want to say, it's so great that you write in. It's such a privilege to have your thoughts coming out here, because it's not just reaching me. It's reaching a lot of people, and you know, you probably have the same questions that a lot of people have. And also, I didn't prepare these ahead of time. I'm reading these off the cuff. You know, I am actually reading them in the moment and thinking of the answers. Also want to let you know that we have some merchandise coming. We have some koozies on the way with artwork from Sierra Mack over at Wearable Chaos. She's a tattoo artist, and she does the logo for Banjo Chat. She's also my second cousin. She's amazing. So you'll see some koozies coming on the way, and we also have banjo socks coming. Who doesn't want banjo socks? I mean, that's the best way to show your style is with a banjo sock. So we have those 2 things. And if you subscribe on the Patreon at the pizza level, which is $5 a month, you will get you'll get a koozie. It's not free. You're paying $5 for it. You're subscribing for $5. That helps me cover the manufacturing of the koozie and the shipping over to you. So go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/banjochat. And soon we'll have the koozies. And if you sign up for the $5 level, which is the pizza level, we have Ladybug level at $2, pizza level, and then the banjo level at $10 a month. If you sign up for the pizza level, you'll get some koozies. That's all I'm saying. But we'll also have banjo socks for purchase. So I'm super excited about those. Anyway, let's get into it. Listener emails. Hi, Hillary. I just wanted to send a quick question. Do you name your banjo? Do I name my banjo? Do you have a preferred banjo over the others? Do you decorate or do anything fun or funny with your banjos? That's more than one question. Whoops! ! But I would love to know. Gracias. Mandy B. Green. Oh, she wrote Gruen, but then pronounced green. Thank you for doing that. I would have said green, but it's green. Mandy B. Green from Texas. Great question. Do I name my banjo? Yes, I do name my banjo. So I call it little beep, little B, little beep. It's the swear word because she's so heavy. It's the resonator banjo. I call her Little B. She's so heavy. And it just is the name that comes out of my mouth when I see that banjo. And then for my open back banjo, I just call it banj. It's just banj, you know. And I speak to it as if it's a person. Hey, banj. And then my second open back, I don't really have a name for it. I don't play it as much, so. I do prefer my Bart Ryder banjo. My Bart Ryder open back is my favorite banjo. I think it's extremely well made. He's not really making any more these days, but if you can get your hands on a Bart Ryder, I shouldn't even say that because I want to get my hands on more Bart Ryders. That's my favorite banjo. And I've been playing my resonator, my Stelling Red Fox, for 20 years now. I bought it new, and it's absolutely my favorite resonator banjo. I've had it 20 years. And Mandy asked, do I decorate it or do anything funny with it? Well, I have a ribbon on the headstock. It's a purple ribbon, and it's been there for about 20 years, and it's still there. It's all scrappy, but I guess that's about it. I just have leather straps on it. Nothing else funny. I would love to hear if any of you do something funny with your banjos, because that's kind of exciting. I always thought about putting some like lights on the inside would be kind of cool. I know people write on the banjo head. Well, if you have anything fun or funny on your banjo, let us know. That's kind of cool. Send in a picture. All right. Thanks, Mandy. Here's the next one. Listener email. Hillary, hi. It has been fun to find and listen to Banjo Chat. Cool. Thanks. I'm a young music student about to start freshman year at a small school in Florida. I am nervous about getting in over my head and wanted to hear what you would have to say about the thought of bringing the banjo into more contemporary music programs. I think the banjo could fit in just about anywhere, personally, but I know I'll be facing some not like-minded people out there. Any advice and inspiration would be amazing. Thank you. Maddie in Florida. All right. Thanks, Maddie. Mandy and Maddie. Okay, cool. I absolutely feel like the banjo can fit in anywhere. And, after listening to a lot of the guests on this podcast too, you can tell that I feel that way as well. The banjo, to me, is a very versatile instrument. I think it can be added into, it can be played like a piano. You can read piano music if you read music. Yeah, I think that the history and heritage of banjo is something that needs to be passed on and kept going. And I think the tradition of the music that we play on the banjo and the history of the banjo is something that we all need to learn about and pass on. And then side note, in addition to that, the banjo can be used in classical music, in jazz. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think exploring the instrument as much as you want, I think, is a wonderful idea. And, you're going to be met with some thoughts or stereotypes about banjo because, the banjo first, came about in TV, with the Beverly Hillbillies. You saw it a lot on TV with that. So there are some stereotypes that are built up around it. But I think with anything in life, if you enjoy something, just try to ignore that and do what you do. And do it well. Some of the best advice I ever got when I was first starting out on banjo was don't try to don't try to be anybody else. Just try to do what you do as well as you can. And don't worry about if people say, I guess at the time people were saying she's good for a girl. That's what people used to say to me. She's good for a girl. And the advice was just be good, just be good at what you do and don't worry about how people think of you in the context of whatever else you're doing. So, of course I'm pro banjo, so I'd say go for it. Bring it into the program. And I think people are going to love it. Thanks, Maddie. All right. Another question. Hi, Hillary. I'm loving the pod. My dad has been a banjo guy for years, and I made him listen to some of your episodes so we could find some artists that would be new to both of us. We have really enjoyed listening to the segments where you feature your guests' tunes, and it has been a sweet little bit of bonding time with my old man. We appreciate it. XO, Jay from Seattle, Washington. Oh, thanks, Jay. That's really nice. That makes me feel good. That wasn't a question, but I love getting that feedback. That's really sweet. It's really cool that you and your dad can kind of listen to this and both be open about what you're hearing. And yeah, these are my favorite banjo players on here, so I'm glad you could enjoy it as well. All right, this is the fourth one. Hi, I wrote in a while ago, and it never made it on the podcast, so I'm resending. Oh, whoa, okay, I wonder how that happened. I guess I just missed it somehow. Okay, well, thanks for resending. I know I need to take my banjo to a repair person, but I'm not sure who to go to around here, so I thought I'd ask you. Ask me the question. Okay. My banjo keeps making a buzzing sound like sizzling pancakes on the fifth string. Oh my gosh. Okay, sizzling. It's kind of twangy and vibrating too much or something. It seems like an easy fix, so I thought maybe you'd encountered this before. Thanks for your help. Sylvia in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's got this sizzling sound on the fifth string. Disclaimer, I'm not a repair person, but here's what I know. You might still want to go to a repair person instead of listening to what I'm about to tell you and doing it yourself. What I'm telling you is right, but if you don't trust what you can do, you might not want to try it yet. When I hear a buzzing on my fifth string, first thing I do is I just check the entire banjo first. I check for vibrations, check to make sure the tuners are tight, that the screws are all tight up there on those tuners on the headstock. I run my fingers around the red hooks, round hooks, around the base of the banjo head, the pot, the assembly, all that down there. I run my fingers along and make sure everything's at least hand tight. If you don't feel comfortable tightening the head, just make sure at least that they're hand tight. And if you do feel comfortable tightening the head, get out your hand tightener, your little wrench, and then give it a quarter turn around the banjo head and make sure it's all tight there. If it's still buzzing, which it probably might be, if you really think it's a fifth string, I go down to the bridge. I make sure my bridge is sitting up, It's not tilted over. I make sure my bridge is centered. I look at if there's any markings on the banjo head, I make sure my bridge is lined up. If your bridge is still lined up, it's just a bridge, give it a little like pat over to the right side. See if you can just shift it over a little bit and see if you can adjust the bridge a little bit, and maybe it'll get rid of that fifth string buzz. I think a lot of buzzing sometimes is the bridge. I would mess around, first mark where your bridge is with a light pencil marking around the bridge feet. And then I would start to make like a couple slight adjustments, see if it gets rid of the buzz. If it doesn't get rid of the buzz, just move it back to where it was. No big deal. And then if you still have the buzzing, maybe, here's another one. Maybe your banjo is really cheap. Did you pay $150 for your banjo and it's buzzing? It might be a really cheap banjo and you need to upgrade it. Hate to say that, but sometimes it is the quality of the product. You get what you pay for. So you might want to consider upgrading. But if you did pay a fair price for the banjo and it's still buzzing, I would say it's an action thing with your fingerboard. And, I know people that know what they're talking about might be like, Hillary, there's other things it could be. But I guess what I would think is that it would be the action on your fingerboard or that your neck might be twisted. I would go to action on the fingerboard first. And here's what I know. When there's a buzz or a rattle, the truss rod on a resonator banjo needs to be loosened. You have to turn it counterclockwise. Now, I would guess that you probably don't feel comfortable doing that, going up and adjusting your truss rod. So I would take this to somebody and get your action, getting your truss rod loosened a little bit. So the action is when the string, how close the strings are to the fingerboard. And if your strings are super close to the fingerboard, they're going to buzz on the frets. And so that might be what's happening with your fifth string. It's buzzing on the frets. So yeah, that's what I would check. And if it's a neck twisting thing, then you definitely have to take that in, because that's, I don't think that's, if you have no experience with that, I would say, yeah, definitely take that in. But great question. Wow. Yeah. I hope that answered your question. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email us at banjochatpodcast@gmail.com. And the question I get asked the most is, how do I practice? And I'll tell you this one thing, and just this one short little thing. Just turn off your phone and look at what you got to do for 10 minutes. Turn off the phone and just try to focus for 10 minutes every single day. Or add that into the practice you already do. And I promise you that's just going to make a difference if you don't already do that. All right. And you can find us on Instagram at banjochat. And keep a lookout on the Patreon, patreon.com/banjochat. for the koozies and banjo socks coming on their way. Thanks, Tony Trishka, for the idea. He's got the best banjo socks around, and I'm just trying to follow in some big footsteps. Oh, socks, footsteps. Woo-hoo. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. Bye. If you'd like to support the Banjo Chat podcast, check out our new Patreon page at patreon.com/banjochat. Also, give us a like, a review, and subscribe, and that'll help boost it along so we can keep making these for you. Thanks.